Okay, that's just about it now. But just to show you, there's two buckets stacked together there. There's a watering tube and a hole. And the hole here is where your plant's going to come through. This is going to be where you add your water. And just to show you, if I take the lid off, and you look down in the bucket, there's my little purple pot. That's my wick bucket down in the bottom. And I still need to drill it out, but I'll drill holes in it. And there's some holes that are already in the bottom as well. But I'll drill this out. I'll clean up everything and get all the little spaghetti pieces out of there from drilling, but you can see where I drilled. Now I'm looking down into the bucket. You can see the holes that I drilled in there. But if you were to look and pull this apart, this pot back in where it goes, what you will see, if you was to remove this top bucket, what you would see, there's your wick bucket and there's your watering tube. So as you water into the watering tube, the water is going to go into your bottom bucket, which is basically a bucket with a little bitty hole drilled in it. And that hole that I showed you that's drilled there will allow the water to spill out before it reaches the top of this second bucket, because you don't want your roots sitting in water. So when we put all this back together, put the watering tube in. Before I put this center wick bucket in, I'll put a little bit of cloth in here, as you can see, and I'll just spread it around. I'll spread it around and set this little pot down in the middle here, so that when I do put my soil in, it'll keep any soil from going into the little small holes down in here. And it's just something that I added just because I wanted to. And it is open at the bottom though, because I got a hole actually cut in that fabric. But when you pack your soil, you want to be sure to pack it real good down into the center wick bucket. So the way this is supposed to work, I'm trying it this year myself just to see how it works, but it's supposed to, you add the water to the pipe, and the water goes to the bottom of the bottom bucket, and it wicks back up through this bucket, comes back up. Now there's some other instructions on tomatoes versus pepper plants with lime and things like that. But basically, if you're doing tomatoes, you put lime down in your soil, and there's a certain kind of lime, so look that up and for more instructions. But then you take your 10-10-10 or 6-6-6 and put it in the top, just say 3 or 4 inches of this soil, put a little bit around and fill it up with soil, and your plants coming out, like your pictures I showed you before, they're real close to the top of this lid when the plants come up and come out of there. So we'll see this summer how they do, but mine, I actually filled them up. It's pretty much very full with soil here, so that other things can't blow down in here as easy, and even rainwater maybe can't get in there as easy. And then the plant's just going to come out of here, and depending on your plant, is if you need some way to stabilize them. Again, you can use tomato baskets or PVC pipe or even bamboo if you wanted to. I would just suggest, depending on your plant, go ahead and insert your system, what you're going to do to carry the plant with before the plant gets very big, so you don't mess up the roots by sticking something down in that hole. Again, I pre-cut some 3/4 inch PVC pipes that I use, but some of them I'm trying tomato baskets on. I'm just going to try to see what works the best. But that's basically the little bit of time I've had mine going. I've only had to water them. It seems like they only want water every couple or 3 days, so they seem to be pretty water friendly so far, but my plants are just tiny so far.